Oh, that's a bit low. There we go. Right. Hello. Good afternoon. I say afternoon because it's now 5:45 on Wednesday, the 14th of October. And I just wanted to share some stuff with you, which I think is pretty groovy. So I'm going to share my screen and excuse the top of my head whilst I look down at the computer. So let's go for this. Not that part. Let's get the controls out of the way. Sorry. 2 seconds. There we go. Right. Oh, blimey. Right. So today, this morning, we had a live session that Paul was running, which I attended. And this was one of the pairs that we talked about, pound New Zealand dollar. And the session was 8:30 till just after 9:30. Let's have a quick look. So that would have been around this sort of area here, around this sort of time. So there's 9 o'clock and there's 9:45. So it was around that sort of area there. And you may see on the screen here, this is just the ordinary price chart for the pound New Zealand dollar. It's on the 15-minute time frame, and we were looking for this little alert to appear. It's around there, the green ninja up. You can see one there, maybe a bit clearer. So we've got ninja down with these red ones, ninja up. So we were looking for this ninja up to appear, and appear it did. And as you can see, it then went on a jolly decent run all the way up there. And I say all the way up there, even if you didn't get in when that alert appeared, say if you got halfway along that candle, right up to the top of that wick there, there's 220 odd pips. 220 odd pips. And considering the strategy, or one of the strategies that we use, you're just after 10 pips a day. I think you might have caught that. Might have caught 10 pips with that. Now that's if you were there right on the button, and even if you weren't right there when the alert came in, you could still have got a decent amount of pips within that. Now me, I didn't catch any of it. I was busy doing some other nonsense. But I was trading another pair, and I was a bit silly. I kind of had it in my head, and I was focused on that, and I do that. I latch onto a pair and I trade it for the day. And I don't know why. Sometimes it works in my favor, sometimes it doesn't. And I made my daily target, or more than my daily target today. But if I'd have jumped on this one, I would have easily achieved way more than my daily target. And I'm going to show you something in a minute that some of the results from some of the other odds in the group that have caught some of that trade and some of others, because the pound pairs just basically went on a decent little ride. Now I say I didn't catch any of this, I actually caught some of this. And whilst that's nowhere near as big a move as all of that, that is still on its own. Let's see, from there to there, let's say to that white line, that's 46 pips just down to the white line. I think it was about a 70. Oh, it's 70 from the top. I looked at it, it was a 70 pip move, and one of those, in fact, if we go on to the 5-minute time frame, a lot of that, in fact, go on to ordinary candles, a lot of that was just in that big candle there. So these two candles, but the majority of it is that one there. So I grabbed 40 pips just from that move there. I'll put it back to the 15-minute time frame, put it back to high Kanashi candles, and you can see we had the ninja down. In fact, we would have got that earlier, probably on the 5-minute. Look at that, right at the top there. So if you'd have got in with that on the 5-minute alert, you could have got, there we go, that's 80 odd pips. So even if you sat in that until you got the ninja up alert, giving you a signal that the direction is changing, you could have got 70 pips again if you were there at the right time, at the right place. But obviously we set alerts for these to appear, and it's not really that challenging a thing to understand and to follow, really. So yeah, so even though I missed this huge move all the way up here, I did make up for some of it with capturing that move, or some of that move there. And I shall show you why I was able to do that. So on the 5 minute, you could see here we've had the move up. I'm looking at the stochastic here at the moment, which is down at the bottom. You can see that's just been trailing along the top of this purple band here. And I was basically looking for, okay, where's my opportunity to get in for a sell? And that came where it crossed there, and it played beautifully. Anyway, that's that. I didn't necessarily want to bore you with all of that, but I just wanted to show you, just looking at the 15-minute time frame, if you got an alert like that, get into the trade for a buy, and you could have easily made some money with that. I don't want to talk money and dirty stuff like that, but yeah, that was right up there. That was 200 odd pips. Anyway, let's have a quick look at some of the people, some of the results from the group this morning. Not this morning, today. Where are we now? Okay, so here we go. 14th of October. That is today. Yeah, 14th of October today. And I think I was the last one to post in there yesterday at 8:10. So I grabbed another 21 pips. I think yesterday I only did 46 pips in total. So cash trap for Darren here, 5 wins and 1 loss and 1 break even. Hasn't put the number of pips because that is a different strategy. That's not necessarily capturing number of pips. That's just basically a win or lose situation. So that's the HFX sort of binary stuff. Colin last night. Colin sadly has went to work last Friday only to find that his job is no more. So he is back on trading pretty much full time to build up some money for himself. And he did well last night. Closed out at 10 p.m. Didn't want to leave it running overnight as he's been bitten like that before, but what's that, 27, 28 pips. So he's done all right for himself. Crossfire from Richard this morning. He took 5 pips on Euro Australian dollar. That's another strategy that only works in the UK 6 to 8 a.m. Chris Shannon, GBP JPY pair taken on pool session this morning. So this was at quarter to 10. Taking pool session this morning using NTS, the Ninja trading system, 12 pips. Thanks, Paul. And there's Paul also giving a screenshot of him talking through his live session, and he had 5 pips locked in and risk-free from the session this morning. Colin again got 10 pips from Paul's session, plus another 10 on pound New Zealand dollar on the Ninja up. Now, I hate to say it, but I bet Colin's looking at that going, oh, I wish I'd just stayed in. So Darren Ned Kelly got New Zealand dollar, US dollar, 15 pips, daily target and question mark percentage. Paul Motley, a nice 60 pip profit on pound Swiss franc using lower lot sizes. Pound New Zealand dollar got out at 54 pips when it spiked. So that was Richard. So let's have a quick look at that. That may well have been this bit here. So at 10 o'clock this morning, it suddenly spiked up. So let's have a quick look. Yeah, so that was 80 odd pips just in that sort of spike upwards there. So he took 54 on that, which is absolutely fine. Paul, another 10 pips on pound Japanese yen, 5 pips locked in on Euro CAD as per his session this morning, and 5 locked in on pound New Zealand dollar. Rest is now risk-free. That's pretty awesome. So basically what that means is he's banked or locked in his profit, and it's just letting it run, and it will go and go and go until the tool, one of the tools we use, manages the trade for you. Sabile, pound US dollar, 60 plus 65 pips, weekly target done in one trade. Thanks, Paul. Got in on morning session. Morel, pound Japanese yen, 15 pips, pound New Zealand, 5 pips. First line of pitchfork touched on pound New Zealand dollar. We'll wait for breakthrough and retest before re-entering. Pound news coming up too. And then she's posted another 10 on pound New Zealand dollar. Paul closed out at some certain percentage account growth. That should do me now till next week. So he did very well. Let's move off that quickly. I can't move off it because I'm going to miss mine. Okay, so that's me next. Euro USD plus 6 pips, which I was already in at the start of Paul's session. Stupidly, I listened to Paul, and I shouldn't have done, because I think at the time I'd analysed it differently, so it's reached a level of support and resistance. But then I'd also noticed that there was no, not on that pair, there was another pair. Anyway, I'd got in for a buy, and Paul's comment was maybe just take your profit because it might be bouncing off the pitchfork line. I took my profit, 6 pips, not very much at all, but still perfectly respectable. And then I look back at it again, and I would have got, I think, about 20 pips profit if I'd have left it running. But not to worry, still profit. So then on Paul's session, we were discussing Euro Japanese yen, and I got into that. Took 10 pips on the session, then price dropped, and I analysed it again and noticed that there was a patch of imbalance a little bit further below. So I thought what I'll do is I'll set a pending buy limit order around that area. I actually did halfway on the imbalance area, halfway, and it actually triggered almost to the pip. I think it went just below by sort of half a pip or something. So it triggered my pending order, and I'd also placed some market executions along the way as well, which actually turned out to be roughly about 5 pips apart, and I ended up closing that at just shy of 30 pips. And that was a bit silly because that did sort of go up and down for a while. And that's how I sort of missed the pound New Zealand dollar, because I was focusing on that because I thought that's going to go, that's going to go, it's going to go. And of course, it didn't really go. It just moved a bit, but I still 30 pips. Chris Shannon, both pairs doing okay so far. Let's have a look at this. I think that's the pound New Zealand dollar. Excuse me. Can't see what that one is at the moment. So it was 7, nearly 8 pips on that one, and 40 pips on that one, which is fantastic. Morel just taken another 31 pips on pound New Zealand dollar. Daily profit exceeded, and bear that in mind. That was 7, nearly 8 pips and 40 odd. And now we're looking at it now, still going with the exit manager. So that went up to 26 pips and 108 pips. So Chris stayed in a lot of that move. Cola grabbed 13 pips on Euro Japanese yen, having a heavenly day. Paul, been out to lunch, and let's just say I'm very happy with pound New Zealand dollar. About 40-ish pips closed automatically for me whilst I was feeding my face, which is always nice. Isn't that the easiest money to earn, when you're just out having lunch and it all gets done for you automatically? Andrew, went with your pound New Zealand dollar trade idea from this morning session and have just bagged 156 pips. Profit taken of that and might squeeze out a bit more on top as one small trade still in. Yay, which is fantastic. Here's Anne, who looks after the North American Crossfire session. It happens very rarely, but there were no trades that came up during the Crossfire North America session today. John got a nice 211 pips, just about to hit. This was a live I'd done last night, all recorded on my wall. Nice one. So yeah, 211 pips. And which pair is that? Pound Canadian dollar, so pound CAD. But as we've said, a lot of the pound pairs did a very decent move upwards. Eric, pound Australian dollar, 160 pips. And you can see there he's marked out his stop loss and can't. That's one of the unfortunate things. Can't really see the risk to reward on that, but it certainly looks very decent. There's me. I missed the ride up on pound New Zealand dollar earlier, but just took advantage of a very quick 40 pips from a 70 odd pip drop, which took all of 5 minutes. It literally, as I showed you just now, some of those big candles there took no time at all for it to hit that sort of amount of pips. Alan, Monday was 46 pips, Tuesday 42 pips, and my goal is 100 pips for the week, so I didn't need much to get it done. Little scalp session before work, picked up all I needed, euro, pound, 12 pips, and New Zealand dollar CAD. For once I reached my goal, I closed everything. Now, Alan at the moment is working night shifts at an airport, and he joined us probably 6 or 7 weeks ago. He's loving what we're doing, really, really enjoying it. And unfortunately, well, sorry, not unfortunately, probably fortunately, in his position at the moment at the airport, it seems that they're waiting on redundancies because the airport's not doing as well as it should do, obviously because of the current situation globally. But he's looking forward to being able to trade full time and give himself and his daughter a better life. So that's good. I'm pleased for Alan, actually. He's a really nice guy. And that's not to say anyone else isn't nice in the community here. Just, yeah, for some reason, I don't know, I've got a thing that, you know, Alan's just a nice guy, so I really want him to do well. Darren, again, HFX cash trap, 7 wins, 3 losses, was 6 and 0 at one point, still on demo with this, so that's something he's trying out. And Sabil, euro, Australian dollar, 25 pips from the Ninja up. And that seems to be it at the moment. Today at 5:30, so yeah, that was half an hour ago. Nothing else added in there for today so far, but there may well still be people adding up all the pips that they've captured for the day. So just to head back to the chart, get off. I need to renew my subscription on TradingView because I think that's just expired today. So yeah, so that was the pound New Zealand dollar, and as we can see, if we were to look at a lot of the pound pairs, there's been this sudden move like this, and I think the discussion this morning was, you know, with everything that's going on with the economy here in the UK and probably elsewhere as well, but certainly the economy here has been struggling because of the pandemic. And I don't want to go into all the political stuff and all the other stuff to do with the virus, but you know, the concern was actually getting involved in any of the pound pairs for big moves. But obviously we got the Ninja alert, and as you can see, a number of people did grab certainly a decent number of pips on those pairs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link below this video to our Facebook group, which is it's a free group. You can come in and join the group. You can see some of the live trading sessions in that group. There's only one live trading session per day. You'll get access to this indicator as well, this indicator here, which gives you the Ninja up and the Ninja down. So it gives you those alerts. There's training in there that shows you how to apply for the Ninjacator, how to actually set the alerts for it so that it actually pings and makes a noise, sends you an alert on the screen, sends you an email, whatever you want to do. So there's all of that in there. The live sessions, one a day, but in our members group, there's certainly more than one live session per day. And oh, what else is there? Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, sorry, the workbook. We've also got a workbook which goes through a number of strategies. The challenge is it covers more than one strategy in the workbook. So there's a lot of information in there, but it covers the basics, so tackling some of the really simple stuff, but it also goes through various strategies. So I know a lot of this can seem very overwhelming and confusing, and oh, you know, how on earth does all of this actually work? Well, we've got a workbook that you can refer to, you can print off, you can save it on your laptop because it's just a PDF. You can save it on your computer and refer to it as and when you need to. So there's all of that information available. So that's it. I feel like I'm kind of waffling now, so I'm going to wrap it up there. So the link to all of that is going to be available under the video, and I'm going to wish you a pleasant rest of your day. So that's Wednesday, 14th of October at 6 p.m. Wrapping up. Enjoy. See you later. Now I've got to work out how to stop this. Stop share, end. There we go. Easy.